You know what that judge said, Boasberg, by the way, when the court came down with that decision a few days ago? I'm not letting go of the case yet. Now, this is the guy who wants to hold people in the Trump administration in contempt for not complying with his verbal order, which is supposed to be in writing to give proper notice to the people that you insist follow your order, and now you want to hold people in contempt. This guy is a whack job. These judges have been issuing orders like they're handing out lollipops at a fair, and temporary restraining orders, injunctions, coming, so they don't even really know the cases. They're getting very little on the cases. And what the court has said basically in 3 cases is, you pulled the trigger too fast. That's number one. Number two, on some of these issues, it's likely that the government's going to succeed in the end, not the petitioner. Number three, you don't even have standing in one of the cases. In the Seattle, Washington case, you have a union that comes in and talks about what's going to happen to the whole country and all the national parks. Well, that's not standing enough, so that's a problem. This guy Boasberg, the worst of the bunch in Washington, D.C., turn the jets around, turn the planes around. Didn't you hear my order? I was yelling as loud as I could. No. What they say about him, they said, Judge, you're not even the right jurisdiction. These people were in Texas. Why are you handling this case? So they're addressing form shopping in their own way. They're addressing the lack of standing. But think about that. You're a federal district judge. You've been there a while. And you don't even require standing. You're so desperate to rule a certain way. Or you know it's not even in your court's business. It belongs in Texas. But you act. You know what that judge said, Boasberg, by the way, when the court came down with that decision a few days ago? I'm not letting go of the case yet. Now, this is the guy who wants to hold people in the Trump administration in contempt for not complying with his verbal order, which is supposed to be in writing to give proper notice to the people that you insist follow your order, and now you want to hold people in contempt. This guy is a whack job, a radical, and he's angry. He's angry. He's got anger issues. And so the court says, Judge, it's not your case. It belongs in Texas, which should have been obvious from day one to the judge and was. And he says, okay, I'm not letting it go yet. I posted immediately the Department of Justice should get a mandamus, and I'll explain that in a minute, either in the appellate court or the Supreme Court immediately. A writ of mandamus is an order. It's Latin, but it's an order that the government must act, or a government official must act. They must basically uphold their duty and do X, Y, Z, or do something. And so I felt they should have filed that. For all I know, they will file it by the time this program's over. We've given a lot of free public advice, and I think it's been followed to good effect. One of the reasons on this program, on Blaze or the Fox show on radio, I keep pounding away at what these judges are doing, these particular lower-level judges, is to persuade. Judges don't live in a bubble. They want you to believe that they're cloistered, but they don't live in a bubble. They're watching TV, they're listening to radio, they're doing all these other things. That's what they're doing. So when you keep pressing the case that these judges are out of control, that the Supreme Court needs to do something, it's good to see that the Supreme Court is doing something. But Amy Coney Barrett, in one of these big cases, not all of them, one of them disappointed again, as did John Roberts in one of them, as I understand. But they still cobbled together a majority of 5. She's turning, and now I believe she's turned pretty hard. You'll have people say, well, she was good on the Dobbs decision, good on this, good on that. That's not what I'm talking about. Her approach to the law is changing. It's turning. It's becoming too influenced by the left, by the media, by the left-wing justices on the court. Have you noticed in every one of these cases, every single one, the 3 Democrats keep voting together. Every single one. They never break. Notice how the reporting never even addresses that. They'll talk about, well, if they got 5, they didn't get 6 votes on the Republican side. But notice they never say, those 3, they never think for themselves. Let me tell you what's going on up there in the Supreme Court. These 3 are deciding what they're going to do. They view themselves as the little cabal that's going to defend the country against these people. And every now and then they can get a John Roberts or Barrett to vote with them. But pretty much the other 4 are not being taken in by any of this.
For all this and much more, sign up for Levin TV.